Hello and welcome to my out of the blue playthrough of Graven. It is early access, and the last time I played it was very disappointing. The demo had more content to it than the actual early access game. I was going, what the fuck is this? Uh, Last video we freed the sewer of the built up bodies, and now we're gonna venture into the swamp and fix and relight the lighthouse. Which during the intro we did see it was tipped over and in the swamp. And we're currently still stuck with the staff, which isn't a great melee weapon in my opinion. It can be it definitely fills that wimpy weapon 1 slot that you find in games. Go out here and grab this key. It's a skull key. Right, and there's nothing that way quite yet. What? No. No way. The spec? Discharge. Stun targets, power machinery, and electrify water. You can swap between spells by pressing F. It's not the greedy spell. It's a spell. There is a sword up here, to my knowledge. Maybe it got removed. I vividly remember there being a sword up here somewhere. Because I am in dire need of a weapon that is not the staff. There is a crossbow. I just forget how early you supposedly get it. Ah, crap. I have a feeling that the sword doesn't exist anymore where I thought it was, but... Because I swear, when I played through this initially, there was an extra weapon I had already instead of just the staff. Okay, so when an enemy only exists to one-shot you. Because someone complained and went, hey, the weapon progression is all messed up from the demo. Because I remember going through this gate and picking up the shock spell, but now I played the full of non-early access game. That's no longer there. What gives? Now that I go through the gate and realize, oh shit, I no longer have access to the sword that's up in that secret area, and it's just all gold now. So I have to deal with shocking these swamp creatures to stun them, and then whacking them on with my staff for 2 hits before I have to switch back to the shock spell to stun them again. And I still don't know if they moved the, Of course, I'm out of mana. So yeah, this is gonna take a bit. Now I need the serpent key. They appeared so quickly, we just wanted to aid the blacksmith, but out of nowhere these creatures appeared. We ran as fast as we could, and luckily they couldn't keep up. The plant life around here has given us some cover, but I fear we'll be found eventually. I can only hope our deaths are swift, or at least as is for young Adriana. He isn't the child anymore, but he's still so young he doesn't deserve a slow, painful death. Let's go this way until there is a secret jump. Now the swamp is connected with the even more swamp. There's the serpent key. Now, hopefully, I get the crossbow now. Unless because I gave the electrified uh, electricity spell now, they moved the crossbow further in, and I now get the sword. Okay, there's your fuel canister. Yep. Just as I thought. And because there's unskippable weapon animations, gotta look at the sword as I'm being clawed to death. This is like playing those Doom maps where the map makers are afraid of giving you adequate weapons to handle situations, and you're stuck with the pistol as you're being faced down with a Baron of Hell or some shite like that. I remember the game in early access. It wasn't this punishing. I mean, it is still in early access. So I'm talking about just got out of her, just released into early access. I mean, yeah, it wasn't as good and clean cut as the demo was, but it also gave the weapons in a very reasonable amount of space between them. Instead of this bullshit where it's giving you it's making you fight the enemies that are best engaged at ranged with the zombies, which are sword fodder. Or at the same time, not changing ammunition, the locations of ammunition or placement. Yeah, ammunition placement. Because instead of getting the sword in this room, you would have gotten the crossbow. It would make sense for all this crossbow ammo everywhere. You know, instead of having all this crossbow ammo everywhere, and now you get the sword. When the sword was up on the platform ledge by the secret that had all that gold in that one house. So now I gotta deal with this whole respawn shite, because I respawn with very little health, and all the enemies around me are better engaged at range with the crossbow. Because their melee does way too much damage. I mean, yeah, I understand I'm supposed to be a weak priest, and on this self-salvation quest from posed by Exiled, because I killed heretics of a little girl that I adopted. Still, it's like this. Lighthouse operation. For anyone who attempts to operate the lighthouse, please memorize the following. I would advise you to procure some defenses. Many operators seem to perish out there. It is quite unforgiving. The lighthouse needs 2 canisters to get started. It can last for a long time, but it needs both to ignite. We keep spare ones in nearby towers. Sorry about that. I had a very short sneezing attack, but I believe that's all I can do over there for now. Oh, it's back to Cruxfirth. Okay. Right, 4 is what I want. Well, that's how we get into the sewers there. I hate ladders. There is a very specific reason why you don't see ladders in games all that much, and that's usually why. Very, very easy to mount onto, very difficult to dismount from. Or in the case of, let's say, Half-Life, you climb onto the ladder, and it shoots you off into the ceiling. Or you climb on the ladder and try to climb down, it just shoots you off to the bottom, and you die from fall damage. I'm not in the business of giving out gold, but I admit you've earned it. Thank you. If you think you can make inroads with this plague, the quarantine zone should be accessible now. Barring that, the Cruxfirth archives, or that accursed house deep in the bog, are beyond your best bits. Alright, that ends this part for now. I'll see everyone else in the next video. This should be done in like 4 or 5 parts, maybe. So this is part 2 completed, and we continue on our quest to the quarantine zone. So I'll see everyone else in the next video. Have a great one.